What parenting trend you strongly disagree with? Posting videos of your autistic kid having a meltdown or just as a prop for likes. My neighbor's daughter is a crunchy mom wannabe influencer. The daughter will not allow adjectives to be used when speaking with her toddler or baby. They are supposed to discover descriptive words through the exploration of their environment. I'm sort of unclear on how they are supposed to discover words that are never spoken, like colors or size or shape. My sister-in-law preoccupies her kid and has since birth with a tablet. He is now 12 and has no friends and zero interpersonal skills. He takes his iPad to dinner, to grandma's, to church and never talks to anyone. It's very sad to see. If this is a trend or not, but it's very common. Comparing your child to others. It doesn't matter if they're siblings, friends, etc. that fucks up with their self-esteem and turns everything into a competition. My wife and I are neighborhood pariahs because we allow our children to ride their bikes around our quiet, low-crime suburban town. I've had a parent flat out tell me he won't allow his son to come over without him because I might do something crazy like let them shoot hoops on the basketball net out front without standing there watching them. Children need a little bit of freedom. You can't be expected to make grown-up decisions when you never had the opportunity to make child decisions. As a teenager, I hate how family members will spill private secrets and constantly complain and make jokes about you on the telephone or when families gather. Also responding to you in a very snotty attitude. I think that's a big reason I am insecure and have social anxiety. I remember when I told my dad initially about how I was depressed, he seemed to care. He hugged me and everything, even though he's a tiger parent, forcing me to do extra math work on top of my homework and hitting me with a branch if I didn't or did it wrong, getting angry when I didn't understand something, calling me useless when I didn't do something right. Granted, I am an airhead at times but it hurt and it still does. A couple of years later my dad downplayed and joked about my depression when I was in high school to a couple of family friends that he had over. He probably thought I wouldn't notice since I was in another room and he was keeping a quiet voice. It felt like a huge violation of my privacy and it broke the little trust I had left. I overheard it when I went to the kitchen to get the hot chocolate that I forgot earlier, and afterward, I felt so bad I didn't want to drink it anymore and poured it down the sink. I brought it up during an argument a few years after that, and of course, the kind of person he is, he thinks he is never wrong and would rather try to win an argument because parents are always right, or disregard my side in things because I'm trying to rebel, and essentially downplayed why I had depression, basically guilt-tripping me into thinking the reason I was depressed was my fault. Now every time he lectures me and brings up the topic of depression he deflects blame and says your generation is depressed because of technology/drugs/gaming/etc., rather than the fact that his way of parenting was emotionally abusive and gave me inferiority complexes, imposter syndrome and low self-esteem. His initial words of comfort were just a fucking lie. Don't tell people personal things about your child, and if you aren't genuine about the care of your child you shouldn't have children in the first place. Removing doors when your kid asks for privacy you just kind of prove why they want a door. Extremely strict rules in general. I had a childhood friend that came over after school once and he said he had to be home by 6. Didn't think much of it so we lost track of time playing games. He lived about a 10-minute walk up the street and he noticed it was 5:52, then started freaking out. My dad's gonna kill me if I'm late. I tried saying he wouldn't care. About 2 minutes the next day in school my friend said he wasn't allowed over my house anymore, and I never hung out with him again. All over this kid being 2 minutes late getting home. Overscheduling activities. When I was teaching, I remember my kindergartners telling me they had no time to play because every day consisted of non-stop structured sports, dance, and such. When I was teaching I had an 80-year-old student who kept falling asleep in class. We found out it was because dad was getting him up at 5 for sports practice, disciplining children based on what other parents are doing. What works for one kid won't work for others, posting the child's entire life on social media. It's one thing to include a family picture with everyone. But putting a child's entire life online, without their consent, isn't good. Especially when it's about what they've done wrong. Public internet shaming is one of the worst things one can do to a child, because who knows whether that will follow that poor kid around for years. When cyberbullying is coming from inside their own house, nowhere is safe. And that's not even getting to the people who prank their kids and make them miserable for the views, putting your kids in as many programs as possible, assuming that it's your job to help them find their thing so they can be happy and successful in life. I think it just makes kids over-busy, stressed, unable to explore freely in downtime, not knowing what to do with stillness.
Thanks for watching.